if you're a business owner and you recruit, and obviously you do, even at the solopreneur level, because you'll hire on a contractual or a part-time or a project basis, I want to offer you a little hack, the two strategies that will immediately increase the quality as well as the quantity of applicants that you have, and just through some things that you put in the job description. So the first thing is that what people typically tend to do when if you think about it, because you'll do the same thing if you've ever applied to a job, you aim to apply for a job that is 20% above your current pay grade, because that's what you're looking for. This is what people typically tend to do, and even higher still. A chancer, my cousin VJ is a great example of someone who says, right, I'm on 40, I'm going to only apply for jobs at 70. And I said, oh, wow, why? He said, well, why not? If someone says yes, then I'm going to try and sell it in the interview. So it's not that the chancers or the applicants have the skill ability of the 70K person. They're just taking their chances, and it's a logical thing to do. So as recruiters, how can we take advantage of that? Okay, because, and this is the second part, if you follow through the logic, if I am a 50K person and I'm applying for a 90K role, the reality is I probably would still accept a 65K job offer. Meaning that I apply for here, I'm here, I'll accept here. This is the way that most negotiations work. So the way that we take advantage of this is if you, in your own mind, think that, right, my budget for this project, as an example, is $500, put a salary or a project contract value out of $900. That will immediately, and now that will immediately increase the volume of applicants that you get, as well as the quality of applicants that you get, especially if you think in mind of these chances, right? And this is the interesting follow-up point to that. So there's the second piece of this. You also do get people that aren't like VJ and that are, for example, applying for example, let's say that $1,000 project that you've got, when even if your budget is, let's say, $500, you put a $1,000 contract value out, they might be someone who's then at $1,000 actual value, and they apply for a $1,000 project because they're unhappy with where they are, and they're not looking in that respect to be hugely aspirational, and that would be my other cousin Ashok. My other cousin Ashok will never apply for any roles that don't exactly meet his already available set of certifications. So he was recently in the midst of taking AWS training because he wanted to use it as a way of getting increases, like Amazon Web Services, to do stuff in relation to cloud migrations. What was really interesting is that he refused to do any job applications until he actually finished his certification. So he said, I want to be certified, and then only and then I'm going to apply. And VJ would say, what are you doing, mate? Just apply. Apply for a senior AWS role and just ask for as much money you want. And he says, well, in the interview then, I need to lie. And he said, you don't lie, because you'll figure it out between the interview, because you'll study. And then after, if you get the offer and the offer starts in another week, you'll do more study. And by the time you get on the job, you'll have another week or two with onboarding. So you'll actually get 4 weeks to focus upon it. So if you're hearing this, you're probably familiar with this is the way that people think about roles, which is why I will always advocate taking whatever the position is and then bringing the salary up, because then it allows you between this gap to find ultimately a huge amount of value. So this will, by having a true value of $500 for a project, and you can determine how much above that value that you are willing to put the price point up. But if you apply ultimately that process and say, right, it's $500, but I'm going to put a $750 contract value out, you'll get a wider pool of applicants and you'll get a higher quality of applicant, and it will change everything about the way you recruit. So that's the first key item. The second key item is, and I was discussing this with my friend in business, Ravi, and one of the good questions or comments that he made is that, right, I want to look at email scrapers. And so people that can scrape emails from various databases, the internet, publicly accessible data, all of that type of stuff, very normal thing within the world of cold email. And what I'm going to identify is the person who can give me the highest quantity of emails, highest, most relevant at a lowest price point, right? In the ideal world, taking that as an example, you want someone who can give you unlimited emails of the highest quality because this is what we all want, right? Guys, you know the concept, don't ask, don't get. We very rarely practically apply it to every facet of the things that we want. So with your job description, ask for exactly what you want. So that might be if you're, for example, a business owner who's looking for a cold email expert. I am looking for a ambitious individual who is able, through web scraping, Python scripts, to scrape all manner of available and accessible data, who also has access to all of the premium databases such as Apollo, Lusher, ZoomInfo, who also understands email setup, copywriting infrastructure, and understands things such as spin text, syntax, A/B testing, calls to action, etc. Ask for your ideal person and see what happens. Because sometimes, and don't get me wrong, these aren't foolproof things, but what they do is they typically increase the quality of the applicant that you get. Sometimes you'll find the ideal person at the exact price point that you want, and you'll be shocked because somewhere out there is that kid who is in a slum in Harlem or in the outback in Tanzania or in a village in Serbia is that kid who can run faster than Usain Bolt. And all you need to do is put together job descriptions that will allow you to widen your chances of discovering him. So if you follow these two strategies, increase the price point on the application, as well as ask for fundamentally exactly what you want, you'll open up the opportunity to get exactly what you want.